Good morning, everyone. It is yes, I am back with my reading of Pimpette Chronicles. I was supposed to go into the office today, but it is not raining. It is snowing really bad. And so I decided, or I have been afforded the opportunity to just switch my days. So I won't be in until tomorrow. So I thought, why not go live and read another portion or section of the book? So let's just get into it. For those who are just joining me for the first time, I am reading for my book, Pimpette Chronicles. And you know what? Actually, I need to put some light on here because this is really dark. So y'all just bear with me. I need to put some light on here. Okay, that's better. Lighting is everything. Okay. So, yes, I am reading for my book, Pimpette Chronicles, A Modern Black Woman's Guide to Dating Safely and Navigating These Mean Streets. A lot of people ask me about doing an audiobook, and I have no interest in doing an audiobook. If there ever is an audiobook, it will be, I will have to pay somebody to read it because this is time consuming. So I'm doing it section by section just for fun. So yeah, that's what we're doing here. And I'm very, very excited to be sharing my book with you. It is the only dating guide that focuses on safety, and not only safety, it's also a preparation. So it prepares the woman to be ready to date. So it starts with self-analysis, and I'm going to turn this volume down. I was getting some clicks last time, so hopefully I won't get that this time. But if I do, please let me know in the chat if there's anyone who's going to join me or whatever. Okay, so chapter two, asset or liability. We live in an era where people are more comfortable with lies than with the truth. Some of us are in denial about who we are and what makes us an asset or a liability. We yell body positivity, but we ignore the fact that according to the CDC, oh yeah, one more thing. Make sure you click that like button and share this link. So again, click that like button, share the link, just so that you will be in the know, so you'll know when I go live. And as I mentioned in the previous video, I'm going to try to go every day. And yeah, I was supposed to go yesterday. I didn't go. So I'm going to try to go every day. But if you subscribe, then you'll know when I go live. And of course, the videos will be saved, so you can always go back and watch them when you want to. Okay, so let's go. So we yell body positivity, but we ignore the fact that according to the CDC, obesity-related illnesses such as heart disease are the leading cause of death amongst African Americans. With the current health crisis, we simply cannot discuss dating and choosing a mate without acknowledging that who we choose as a partner influences all aspects of our lives, including our finances, emotional well-being, and health. With that in mind, remember that dating someone who eats unhealthy means that you are more likely to start or continue eating unhealthily. If that person becomes ill due to their poor eating habits, you may end up responsible for their care, which could be taxing and costly. Being reliant on someone emotionally, physically, or financially can put you or the other person at a disadvantage in the relationship. Also, if you cannot properly care for yourself, your partner may start to look at you as a burden and treat you as such. Think about reality TV, for instance, where we have witnessed cases where individuals who were. Let me slow down a little bit. Think about reality TV, for instance, where we have witnessed cases where individuals who were morbidly obese had to miss out on certain activities because the space could not accommodate them. This keeps the couple from enjoying life to the fullest and often limited in what they can enjoy. Not to mention the caregiver, often the mate, usually remains worried from wondering if the person they love will die from their condition. This is not a situation someone should want to go into, knowing it may be an issue. Being mindful that what you do can affect your future mate should make you want to be the best version of you. Not saying you have to be perfect, but keep working towards your health and life goals even while dating. Excuse me, tea time. Oh, it's hot. I'm drinking some nettle tea because it's supposed to be good for your nails and hair. Okay. In most cases, without adequate income, your potential mate may feel pressured to come in and rescue you in the event of an emergency. Depending on how long you have been dating, they may opt out of the relationship in fear of their own resources being drained. In some cases, the desire to combine households may develop prematurely just to keep the relationship going. Best case scenario, you should have your own money, which inevitably equates to power, and be able to take care of yourself. Even if your cash flow is limited, the potential mate does not need to know and probably won't notice. Realistically, most women are aware that some men over a certain age are accustomed to coming in and fixing a woman's situation. They may feel completely useless if you do not require that they fix yours. Those men generally have their entire self esteem wrapped up in materialistic things, and this sort of mindset may not be ideal for many reasons. For instance, if the relationship fails, the first thing the sponsor wants to do is remind you how much they have done for you and how you would not be where you are without them. Men who like to be a Captain Save-A-Ho will often use their financial status to control the women in their lives. They have no problem throwing the things that they did for you in your face at a time that is convenient for them. In partnership, the goal is to work together and have skills that complement each other. No one should ever enter with the notion of having to fix someone else's life completely. When you are stable in your own life, of course, the man who cares for you will want to make your life better. I am a firm believer in only dating men that can make my life better. I do not want to date anyone who's going to make my life harder or take away from what I already have going on. Just, a little advice, well, from my point of view. Okay, so even if your credit is fair instead of good, most men will not look at you as a liability as long as he sees that you have taken steps to work toward bettering your situation. A really good catch will even step in to help you reach your financial goals because they understand that most people will endure some sort of financial hardship in their lives. So that alone would not make you a liability. What determines whether or not you are an asset or what determines whether or not you are an asset to your potential partner and overall value in the relationship? Wait a minute, I read that wrong. No, I didn't. It just don't make sense. So it says, what determines whether or not you're an asset in your potential and overall value in a relationship? And there is a section missing. Oops. Wise men will see the total package and assess from there. Mm, my editor needs to be smacked right about now. I don't know how I missed that. I've read this a million times. Okay. Next section. Being the best version of you. Every woman has something beautiful about her, but every woman ain't beautiful. Drunk Auntie circa 1990. During the 1980s, colorism in the Black community and many other people of color communities, or POC, ran as rampant as it does today. In some communities, it is not uncommon to hear men stating a preference for light-skinned women over dark-skinned ones. We hear it in our music and see it every time we turn on a television to see a mixed-race, light-skinned woman representing Black women. Although I am a mother of two fairly light Afro-Latina women, I can still fully see and acknowledge the misrepresentation and attempt at erasure of the beauty of Black women who carry the darker shades of brown. Personally, it is a constant reminder that the more things change, the more they stay the same. I still remember times as a child when I would cry to my grandmother, believing I was ugly because I had full lips and dark skin. I can recall when my older siblings and older cousins would argue over who had the darker skin, me or my cousin. Experiences like this ultimately affect our perspectives of beauty, and we carry this trauma into adulthood, whether we know it or not. The tap. The challenges of seeing oneself as beautiful are not limited to just Black women, nor to women of a darker shade of brown. On the contrary, women of all hues often speak of their feelings of inadequacy. Some of us may worry about the size of our breasts or our weight, and at the same time, others struggle with their hair, lips, and even the shape of their legs. As a result, nowadays, many women are flocking to get breast implants, Brazilian butt lifts, nose jobs, or any other procedure that may garner the attention and approval of others. Since cosmetic surgery should be considered extreme and a last resort, there are other ways to make a sister feel like the queen that she is, and it starts with the inner work mentioned in the previous chapter. Just a little FYI, I am a dark skinned woman and you can't tell me anything because I feel like I am the shit. Okay. So those feelings of inadequacy that I garnered or had as a child are like, I'm not going to say completely gone, but they're mostly gone. They're everybody has a little bit of a little self-esteem challenges from time to time, but I think that mines are really really low. So just FYI, black don't crack, because I'm pushing. I ain't gonna tell you how old I'm pushing, but yeah, I look a lot younger and better than most of the women that I know that are my age. But that's a whole nother story. Okay, back to reading. Once we have ensured our traumas are in check, we can move forward with our exterior. This can be as simple as choosing clothing that fits and accentuates our best attributes or developing a fitness routine that helps keeps us feeling. I'm just making up words that's not here. Okay, let's start over. This can be as simple as choosing clothing that fits and accentuates our best attributes or developing a fitness routine that keeps us feeling our best while maintaining a comfortable weight and size. Most women with a basic level of self esteem have something they love about themselves. A friend of mine loves her feet, so she often chooses open toed shoes. If you have great legs, we'll show those off. One thing about a nice set of legs is that most men will follow them anywhere, and some won't even care what the face look like. Another friend of mine loves her bosom, so she purchases a lot of low cut blouses. As for me, I am proud of my derriere, so it's not uncommon to see me in a form fitting sweater dress in the winter or a nice sundress in the summer. Booyah. Before choosing your clothing, be honest with yourself about how the garment looks on you and only wear items that you feel confident and comfortable in. Don't choose exclusively based on designer labels or what's in. Select colors and cuts that accentuate your body, complexion, and undertone. It is no secret that everyone likes to feel sexy and powerful from time to time, and clothes can be tailored to fit our moods, environment, and situation. For those who believe in age-appropriate sexiness, please remember that what looks good on one person will not automatically look good on another. With this in mind, we need to be careful and consider our bodies and choose garments that bring out the best in us without making us look sleazy or sloppy. Here are some rules of thumb, but remember to always choose what you feel works for you and use this only as a guide. Excuse me. Okay. When the garment has a low cut top, stick to pants or a mid to longer length dress or skirt. If the top, shirt, or blouse has a high collar and does not show cleavage, you can be a little riskier with a mini skirt or shorts. And this is actually what I have on right now. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show it. It's an example of that because as you can see, it's completely long turtleneck. I put this sweater on. I was gonna wear this to work, but I didn't make it to work today, and it's a very very maybe you can't see it. Let's see. I'll go back. Okay, yeah, you can. So it's a mini dress, and because all of this is covered in, I just threw this little sweater on. But if I didn't have it on, it's form fitting. It's short, but it's all the way up here, so it's still a little sexy, and it shows my figure. But at the same time, I'm not like completely exposed. So you'll see women walking around with short and all of this hanging out, and I think it should be one or the other. Otherwise, you just start looking like you sleazy. Only really, really, really young women like to just put everything out there. But grown women, you just show a little, like today would be, I'm showing legs and I'm showing curves, but I'm not showing cleavage or cleavage. Okay. Back to reading. If the dress is extremely form-fitting, make sure it is medium to long in length. Nothing sexy about pulling your dress down all the time. I hate to see a woman wearing a dress and just constantly pulling it down. That just looks so tacky. And yeah, how can you be comfortable and sexy if you're constantly adjusting your clothing? You can't, not really. If the dress is super short and has a completely covered bosom, put on a pair of thigh-high boots to compensate for the lack of material elsewhere. That's also a trick that I use all the time. I've just purchased another pair of thigh-high boots because my dog chewed up the last one. But I hadn't really worn my really sexy, cute sweater dresses this season because I didn't have the thigh-high boots. And I just felt like it was just too much exposed. But now I'm about to get into that now that, I have my boots. Okay. If the garment is sheer and risque, choose a fit that's a little loose, never extremely light. As a middle-aged woman, I often choose a full coverage two-piece or one-piece body or bathing suit. For younger ladies, you can choose a thong or string bikini top if you feel comfortable in it. And I'm speaking more so like at the beach. So like, or, the pool or something. I feel like it's totally acceptable for young women, early 20s or even up to 30s, depending on the figure, of course, to wear a thong and, just have the sheer wrap when you are walking around. Don't just be walking around with your thong all over the place, but have your little sheer wrap on. But make sure that everything is in order. I don't care what the body positivity is preaching right now. Wear things that make you look your best, no matter what size you are. I cannot wear everything. No one can wear everything. Wear the things that cover up your flaws and accentuate your best qualities. Otherwise, you're just looking sloppy. And not everyone is going to be honest with you about that. And that's the disservice that's going on in our society right now. People, oh girl, you look good, look good. Then they giggling and laughing behind your back. So stop listening to that nonsense. You know what looks good on you. You can look in the mirror and you can see what looks good and what you feel good. If you feel good in it, then 9 times out of 10, you look good in it. Okay. All right. So please keep in mind where you're going when choosing your looks. You're not going to wear club wear to the church and vice versa. No matter what, when you step out the house, ensure that you are fresh and clean. And if you were taught growing up about wash-ups and whole baths, let that shit go. No grown-ass person should be taking either of these unless they do not have access to a shower or bath. It is simply not acceptable. Remember to always keep a casual outfit ready if you are on the go a lot. Make sure your hair is washed and smelling good at all times. Invest in dry shampoo if you are into wigs or braids, etc. Most of us natural girls and braid wearers must wash our hair a minimum every 3 weeks. So don't wear that style if it looks or smells dusty and old. Your mate will often grow accustomed to your smell, so make sure you have your signature fragrance that will always be familiar. I was watching another video and the lady was talking about people always ask her, "Oh, what's that fragrance?" And she doesn't tell them what she's wearing. I have my own signature fragrances, and I like to add a little dab of something else to them, so I always have my own unique smell. So yeah, I do believe in keeping that private because that is a very private thing. What fragrance you're wearing? You might, if it's your close friend or something and you don't mind, but I don't want my friends smelling like me. I like to smell like me, and you can smell like you. So yeah, and plus everything is not going to smell the same on everybody anyway. So yeah, just a little food for thought. Okay, so let's see, where was I? Okay, your mate will often grow accustomed to your smell, so make sure you have your signature fragrance that will always be familiar. For example, while dating a more nature-centered guy, I noticed that he loved when I wore amaretto fragrance shea butter, so I always wore it when he was around. While dating a guy who was more of a capitalist, I would spray myself with expensive perfumes when I knew I would see him. My theory is the first guy was more connected to nature, which is why natural smells appealed to him, while the other guy was more interested in wealth, so expensive smelling and looking women appealed more to him. Also, avoid high heels if you cannot confidently walk in them. In this day and age, a tutorial can help you master those. When a confident woman walks, she should be strolling like that chick in the Michael Jackson video Thriller. The wrong pair of shoes can mess up your entire game plan. Believe me when I say people love to see a woman who will turn heads when she walks into a room, and it's all about how she carries herself. If you are new to the game, don't be afraid to practice your walk and own it, sis. Once you are on a date, I need to figure out how to turn that notification off. Once you're on that date, always be polite to the wait staff, and if your order is wrong, calmly explain without making a scene or becoming obnoxious. Nobody wants to be out with the hood rat who will be the cause of the waiter putting a booger in their food. I love to laugh at my own jokes. I cannot stress this enough. Some women seem to think that snotty behavior is cute, but grown men will never go out with you again for this reason alone. Number one complaint I've heard from them. Keep in mind, if you want to be seen as a classy chick, read up on basic dining etiquette. It's shocking how many women aren't taught basic things such as putting their napkins on their lap keeping their elbows off the table and chewing with their mouths closed. Also, remember to say thank you as you end the evening. Most men, okay, let me say it again. Also, remember to say thank you at the end of the evening. Men will absolutely judge you on this and assume that you are not grateful. Even though we know he should thank you for gracing him with your presence, it is still common courtesy and good character to show appreciation. Additionally, if possible, please invest in at least one piece of fine jewelry if you do not own any. When men see that you are used to nice things, they will want to give you nice things. He doesn't have to know that you bought it, or if you want to further show that you can provide for yourself, you can share that info if it comes up. If it comes up. Just remember that men are always in competition and will often try to outdo each other, so a little mystery is wise too. I would say that I kind of changed my stance on that. I honestly don't think that they need to know if you paid for it. You can just say it was a gift. They don't need to know from where. So yeah, I adjust that. Okay. Additionally, if possible, I said that part. Lastly, if you have had a bad relationship in the past, keep that shit to yourself. The men you date are not your therapist. Best practice is to not reveal those details until after you are married or close to it. Maybe not even then. So as far as he should know, every man has treated you well, but it just did not work out because you grew apart. I'll repeat that again. So, as far as he should know, every man has treated you well, but it just did not work out because you grew apart, which is actually the truth a lot of times. Finally, never tell a man about a bad experience with an ex and then ask him not to do the same. It is almost certain that he will. Trust me, it never fails. So, when you go tell a dude, oh, this person, cheated on me, and I took them back, then you are basically letting him know the type of behaviors that you're going to accept. So no, stop telling dudes the things that the last dude did to you. Y'all really, a lot of women are good for that. And I don't understand why. Like they don't have that type of sympathy for us, truth be told. Okay, next section is entitled, How Do You Feel? If you Google the term body positivity, you will learn that there are numerous descriptions and definitions of this term. Some sources state it is a movement that encourages you to accept the things you cannot change about your body and was established with persons with disabilities in mind. Other sources say it is a movement to eradicate beauty standards and what is considered attractive and what is not. Good luck on that. Whatever description we agree with, the question we should ask ourselves is, how do we feel and what is our overall health? Again, how do we feel and what is our overall health? If your body feels like something that is weighing you down, limits what you can do physically, full of pain, discomfort, or if it is causing illnesses such as diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, etc., then the first step is to address those issues. No amount of yelling body positivity is going to change the fact that our lifestyles and diet affect every single aspect of our lives, including how we move, date, and choose a mate. It is a challenge for most of us to take control of our health and diet, and many struggle every day. My weakness is that I absolutely love to snack, so regularly I enjoy high calorie, high fat foods such as potato chips and fries. My weight fluctuates, and since I don't believe in dieting, I practice eating in moderation. I exercise and work to eliminate and reduce the foods that are not good for me. This is because I know my body and I can feel when I have not been treating her well. The truth is, ooh, excuse me. The truth is that we only get one, so we should treat it kindly, which includes helping it stay strong through aerobic activity and putting foods rich in vitamins and nutrients in it that will keep us healthy and youthful. Yes, beauty comes in all shapes and sizes, and how a person looks does not determine whether or not they are healthy. This is certain. But the truth is, if you go to the doctor regularly, you know what your health is and what you need to do to be the best version of you. Okay, I'm going to share a little bit here. I recently, like actually last week, had a scare with my blood pressure. And as I mentioned in this book, which was written over a year ago, I like potato chips and I like high calorie food every now and then. And so I kind of really fell off the wagon these last couple of months. And I had I'd eaten like 4 really horrible things at the same time, and lo and behold, my blood pressure shot up to 182, and that is extremely high. Like I was venturing towards stroke status or heart attack, and I'm not that old. So yes, you cannot look at a person and tell how healthy they are. And the thing about it is that I'm actually about 10 pounds lighter than I was last year. And I do exercise. I don't exercise every day. I probably am pushing about 2 or 3 times a week now. I've been slacking, but I'm getting my plan back together. So you don't know based on how somebody look, but you do know on how you feel. I felt a headache for 2 days straight, and I normally don't get headaches, and so I knew something was wrong, and that's what alerted me to have my blood pressure checked. And yeah, had I not did that, I would not have known that. I've kind of fell off the wagon, and I'm not, not as healthy as I used to be. I just can't do the things that I used to do when I was younger because high blood pressure runs in my family. So I have to be proactive instead of reactive. So now I'm really taking or stepping back and focusing on my health more. Just wanted to share that because it can happen to any of us. So yes, and I go to the doctor every year for a physical. So, and again, I pay close attention to my body. Okay, back to reading. Oftentimes, when we are young, we will feel great with no issues. Just and keep in mind that as we age, we all begin to deteriorate, no matter our size. So you want to make sure you can continue to move without pain. Do you think that that older lady with a walker ever saw herself being reliant on such a device, or the person on the scooter at the grocery store imagine that ride in their future? Some things are beyond our control, but know that excess weight puts pressure on your joints, and many times the pressure causes pain. Many people I knew who had unhealthy diets or were inactive in their 20s now have knee replacements, high blood pressure, diabetes, etc. in their 40s. If I stop working out for a month, I will immediately start having back pains. Bad eating habits and lack of movement catch up with us all, no matter our size. So it's important to be proactive so that we can feel good in our skin and age gracefully. For this and other reasons, always try to date persons who share similar beliefs about health as you do, assuming you care about your overall health, so that you can encourage each other. If you meet someone who doesn't care about what they eat, you may be able to influence them to change their habits, or they may influence you in the opposite direction. I personally only date men who are mindful of what they put in their body and how they treat it. By dating in this manner, it allows me to stay on track with my own health routine. Since I do not like to eat much fast food, I no longer date men who eat it often. Since I enjoy working out, I am attracted to men who enjoy some sort of aerobic activity. Oh, I was much better when I wrote this book than I've been lately. Even if it's just walking regularly or riding their bikes. This also gives us something to do together and helps build a bond. Most of us nowadays work sedentary jobs, so it's even more important to be intentional with caring for our bodies and health. When making relationship choices, I recommend you choose persons who will work with you toward all your life goals, not those who will make them harder to achieve. Okay, we've been going 28 minutes. This is a little, only got a little more to go. So we're going to go push through to chapter 3. Next section is raising your own net worth. We live in a society where absolutely everyone is being judged. People often form an opinion of you before you even open your mouth. Folks will size you up based on the type of car you drive, how you dress, your profession, and even what type of background you come from. Excuse me. That's ghetto. I like doing wretched stuff every now and then. Okay. With the advent of social media, people who have never met you in real life get an idea of who you are based on how much or little you share. Most of us have become characters in this metaverse, a world far from authentic. It's a sad, inescapable truth that few will admit. For those of us who choose or are forced to navigate societal norms and be a part of this weird new realm of reality, we also have to make adjustments to survive and thrive. As Black babies of African descent born in the United States, we literally came into this earth at a disadvantage. Add being a woman, growing up in the inner city where you more likely have spent most of your life operating in survival mode, and it's no surprise that many of our romantic relationships fail. These facts must be considered even while dating. As mentioned before, men know exactly what type of woman they want to settle down with, which means that no amount of appearing to be perfect on social media or in person is likely to change that. Nowadays, we are encouraged to seek out likes and mentions, but please remember that sharing too much on social media can actually damage your dating experiences. I believe leaving some things to be learned only by a potential mate is the best practice. I normally do not date anyone who I'm connected on social media, or if I am, I change the settings to keep them from knowing everything I choose to share. When we meet up, they can find out what I had for lunch or my review of the play I just saw. So funny, I just saw a play the other day. Okay. In addition, in this day and age, it is advantageous for us as women to always strive to empower ourselves and the people around us. Empowerment comes in many forms, including maintaining balance and harmony in your life, educating yourself, and striving toward financial security. Make a list of things you feel will make you a stronger, more confident, knowledgeable person. Set an attainable goal and work toward achieving it slowly but surely. As an example, one of the things that I've always wanted to learn is belly dancing. So I've recently started taking classes. Not that I necessarily want to be a performer or even share my skills with the world. I just want to learn for my friends, myself, and possibly my future mate. How exciting would it be for him to one day experience me in my costume using my veil in an enticing way? It's also great exercise and helps keep me working toward my health goals. I'm getting tired. Another skill that I have acquired over the years is home improvement. Yes, having a handy mate who is not afraid to get dirty can benefit both men and women. Men love the idea of having a little assistance in maintaining the home, even if it's just you showing interest or holding a flashlight. Keep in mind that we are working to make ourselves available to full grown men, not a man child who will be intimidated by strong, smart, and sexy women. Do you really have time for those who still haven't figured out that women are complete human beings and gender roles can hinder the things we naturally are good at? I'm not saying I don't believe that a man should open a car door for a woman or that he should not take out the trash, depending on the situation. Those are absolute requirements for me in a relationship. But in every relationship, we have to choose what works best for us. There is a lot of information floating around about relationships and 50-50 situations and Barbara the Builders and Pick Mishas and Pampered Wives and Soft Life and all this other crap. But ultimately, you have to choose what works for you. You have to choose what works for you, and you have to be strategic when you choose a mate, because that can oftentimes be a life and death situation in the long run. And we'll get into that a little more later. Okay. For example, if your mate works midnights and you are home all day, will you wait until he comes in from work in the morning to take the trash out because it's man work? Or are you going to make sure the trash is out that night in case the garbage man gets to you before he arrives, or just out of courtesy because he probably will return dead ass tired? Sis, I hope you will just take the damn trash out. Being an asset and not a liability includes making life easier for the other person, not harder. Now, I'm going to expand on that a little bit. It depends on the man. Okay, repeat. That depends on the man, because there are some men who will become very offended if you do things like that and you're their woman. Like my ex did not allow me to cut the grass, and I was single, well, obviously single before I met him, but I had owned my own house, so I was used to cutting grass. But when we got in a relationship, and if I cut that grass, he had a serious attitude. So know your man, basically. So there are always exceptions to the rules, and nothing, not even the things that I'm highlighting in this book, are set in stone. Know your man and know his preferences. Some men like those gender roles, and some women do too. I am not against gender roles at all. It depends on, are they benefiting me? So, keep that in mind. Okay. The more we know, the more that we can do in partnership. Well, and the more that we can do in partnership will ultimately make us more valuable to ourselves and to those we choose to spend our private time with. We raise our net worth by learning as much as possible, which inevitably makes us a great catch. Now, I'm going to expand on that too. As a woman, I don't believe that you should share all your knowledge with your mate or potential mate. I feel like let him learn those things after he's known you for a long time, or after, even after you're married. Like some things he don't need to know. Men don't need to know we are as smart as we are. I've learned that the hard way. And so I honestly feel like it's advantageous to women to I'm not going to say dumb yourself down, but don't share. If you're super, super brainy and super smart, you don't necessarily want to share that right away with a man, because most men will become intimidated. It's the reality. You know, it is what it is. Okay. So we raise our net worth by learning as much as possible, which inevitably makes us a great catch. The goal is to know how to do many things, not to always try to do everything ourselves. If your man is the best cook in a relationship, then let him be the cook. Actually, I advise that. If your man is, wait a minute, and you can handle cleaning up, or if you like cooking as well, take turns cooking and cleaning, or do it together. I like cooking with my mate. I think it's fun. Finding and choosing a mate is about two people coming together to make each other's lives more enjoyable and easier. If we could do everything ourselves, what would we need a mate for? Every relationship requires balance, and everyone desires to be loved, wanted, and appreciated. I can do a lot of things for myself and by myself, but I love and appreciate when I meet the right person who can do those things for me or with me. And that is the end of chapter 2. Thank you for joining me. And again, hit that like button. This is Tinisha D. Brugnone, the author of Pimpette Chronicles, A Modern Black Woman's Guide to Dating Safely and Navigating These Mean Streets. And I will be back again, possibly tomorrow, possibly the day after. Again, like and follow me on Facebook so that you know when I go live. Thank you. Have a good day.